As we begin this morning, I'll give you a clue that our text is going to come just a little bit later as we begin. I want to start out by saying, blessed Easter joy to each one of you. And I hope for whatever reason that you are here this morning, that you will find a sense of His resurrection and His power in your presence here and in your leaving. Any preacher worth his or her salt will tell you that of all the preaching that we do all during the year, the sermon that we most toss and turn about and the one that keeps us awake night after night, especially as Lenten season is upon us and Holy Week is over, is this Sunday. This sermon, the Easter Sunday sermon. The expectations that come with this day are so confounded high, and you know all about it. Some of you have put it front and center. Not only do you bring yourselves, but you bring your whole family with you. And you got all gussied up and dressed up in your finest. And somehow when you get all dressed up like that, along with that comes a sense of expectation that whatever you do when you're all dressed up is going to be done to the max. If you go out to eat, whoever serves you is going to be at their best service. They're going to get the best tip. The food's going to be the best that you've eaten because you're all dressed up. And if you are going out on the occasion of hearing a speaker, then of course they will not disappoint because you are all primed and ready. We as preachers know that following this event, you all are probably sitting in the pews smelling and thinking about your Easter dinner. I mean, already I've heard some of you talk about planning it all week long. And so what that means is I better say what I've got to say in record time because there are expectations that you have for this day. So all of this lends itself to the proverbial knot that's in my stomach and every other pastor that shakes in their boots when they come up to preach the word on Easter Sunday. Somehow I get a sense that that's how celebrities must feel when their next hit has to be as great as their last. Or Olympians when they have to best their best time as they do their next run. The temptation on Easter Sunday is to preach from the favorite text of most every parishioner that I have preached to through the years. That would be from John's Gospel because it's dramatic, it's descriptive, it's got the widest array of characters doing the most interesting of things. It's the text, the only text that's included year after year for preachers to consider for lectionary reading. Of all the other gospel accounts, John is the one that's chosen yearly. The characters that we find in this are those like Simon Peter and the disciple whom Jesus loved that we just assume is John, but he's never named. And they're running a foot race to see who can get to the tomb first and peer inside. Then you have the neatly rolled up grave cloth as if somebody were expecting company. It's all tidied up and laid in the corner. And then you have Mary Magdalene who's outside of the tomb weeping when she encounters Jesus and mistakes him for a gardener. The easiest thing to do is to preach from the Gospel of John, but I think John gets enough press time. So this Easter, Luke begs to be heard and his version of the story. I ask you to stand for the reading of Luke's account of the empty tomb. Luke 24, verses 1 through 12. But on the first day of the week at early dawn, they came to the tomb, taking the spices that they had prepared. They found the stone rolled away from the tomb. And they went in and they did not find the body. While they were perplexed about this, suddenly two men in dazzling clothes stood beside them. The women were terrified and they bowed their faces to the ground. But the men said to them, "Why do you look for the living among the dead? He is not here, but he is risen. Remember how he told you while he was still in Galilee that the Son of Man must be handed over to sinners and be crucified, and on the third day he would rise again?" Then they remembered his words. And returning from the tomb, they told all of this to the 11 and to all the rest. Now it was Mary Magdalene, Joanna, Mary the mother of James, and the other women with them who told this to the apostles. But these words seemed like an idle tale to them, and they did not believe them. But Peter got up and ran to the tomb. Stooping and looking in, he saw the linen cloths by themselves. And then he went home, amazed at what had happened. The word of God for the people of God. Thanks be to God. You may be seated. There are many lessons that I think come to us from all of the gospel accounts. One or two of those that they all share I'll mention before I go into an understanding of some very particular things that I think Luke's gospel has to teach us about the resurrection. First of all, I want us to think about this. In all of the gospel accounts, from the time that Jesus' body is laid in the tomb late Friday afternoon until the morning of the first day of the week, there is no account of anything that happened. The scriptures are entirely silent. As he lay in the tomb, we can only imagine what must have happened, what must have been going through the thoughts of all of those who had witnessed the events of that week and that weekend. If you are a student of Scripture, you know that as far as the first Easter is concerned, that when the arrival was done at the tomb in each gospel account, the first to arrive in every account were women, all women. And they arrived, we would have wished that they could have had with them or inside of the tomb for us could have been a 20th century surveillance camera, so we might have seen ourselves what it was that transpired inside of that tomb in their absence. We wonder. We can only imagine. You know those new red light cameras that have been installed at the intersections of 11E and Market Street? If you haven't seen those, yeah, boo. And I've seen some pictures already. We would wish for those so we can zero in and see what happened ourselves so that we could explain with certainty what it was that happened. We scratch our heads as we try to imagine how it is that people can believe in something they haven't seen. Don't we need a shroud of Turin in order to believe that which we cannot see? Well, we said the first to arrive at the tomb were women. We're piqued in our curiosity, though, as we study these texts further and we look at all gospel accounts. How many women were there really, and what were their names? John tells us Mary Magdalene alone was there. Matthew says Mary Magdalene and the other Mary. Luke tells us Mary Magdalene, Joanna, and Mary, the mother of James. Mark adds to that Salome. Then we wonder, how is it that the stone got rolled away? And did they even care or wonder if it would be rolled away when they got there?